Hey, what's up, guys? This is Sam Old G, and I want to make a quick video this morning. I want to talk about what is it that I want to talk about? I want to talk Shadowrun Anarchy because like for the last week or so, I keep on hearing about this game. You know, people talk to me about Shadowrun Anarchy. They say how how supposedly rule light narrativist game it is and stuff like that. And I mean, I haven't read the prototype because the only thing there is right now is the prototype, which was on sale at Gen Con. But and also there's not a lot of information about it online. So there's two videos, one from Adam Coble, and which is probably the best one out there right now because he explains the rule a little bit, and one from some dudes I don't know, but who were part of the development team. But they don't say much. They seem like they don't want to talk about it. So, but yeah, so recently I've been talking about new words to talk about games. I was mentioning like stuff we traditional game, story game, and hybrid games and stuff like that, and I ended up talking about probably we should use, or I should use, modern game, a new word to describe these new games that are coming out right now, like, because there's something going on in the industry. The people are like the big lines, the big companies are adjusting their product to the market, to the new trends in the RPG industry. So it is an interesting story if we look at it. Like, first off, there was the traditional game, like I mentioned, and then there was a reaction to it in the early 2000s with the coming up of the STGs, really radical changes, going all the way around the spectrum, at the other end of the spectrum, creating these games that were really, really different, doing something else, story driven instead of character driven, like Runeslinger says, and I think it's a good way to put it up. And then, but it was not, I mean, what was coming out of the Forge was not only STGs. There were some of the hybrid that we start to see nowadays. There was some of those animals out there. Like Burning Wheel is one of those animal games. Like maybe like Sorcerer, or some of these games that were not necessarily super STG, but had some fresh and different ideas to them. But anyway, so what we see now with Call of Cthulhu 7th edition, 7C 2nd edition, Shadowrun Anarchy, Fate is a different animal. But it's it might be part of that trend as well. It's older, but what we see is some kind of a hybridation. It's some kind of an hybrid of STG element that are mixed with RPG games, and big lines big lines like Call of Cthulhu or Shadowrun. I mean, these are big companies. These are big classic tradition. 7C as well. They were classic traditional game. And what we see is that they with this new edition, they are trying to adjust themselves a little bit. They are trying to produce games that will allow for this kind of gameplay somehow. Where what am I talking about exactly? What do I mean by hybrid? What do I mean by STG elements? Well, the most important and common element that we see from story games that gets put in these games is allowing some kind of a currency that the players use to control narration. Basically, that's what it is. The most common one, the one that is oops, sorry about that. The most common one, the one that we see the most out there is like for Shadowrun Anarchy, for example, it's plot points. It's they kind of created these it's the idea that you as a player you get plot points that you eventually I don't know, I didn't read the rules, but what I get from that is that it is you how can I describe that? You play the game a certain way. The GM gives you plot point. Now that if there's no good rule for that, it's gonna become fiat, but it is what it is. You get those plot points, and then as a player, you can utilize these plot points to control narration whenever you want, however you want. And the GM gets point as well. You see that in 7C second edition to manipulate the outcome, the different outcome of the game in terms of narration as well. So this is one part of Shadowrun Anarchy, for example, and it's one part of 7C as well. You I don't know about Call of Cthulhu 7 edition though. This one I need to know a little bit more about. But in Shadowrun Anarchy, there's another thing that is interesting as well, is that the game is turn-based. This is the kind of stuff that we see that comes from the STGs. I mean, a turn-based game. Mouse Guard is not an STG. Mouse Guard is an RPG, but it's turn-based. Torchbearer has a strong turn. I mean, it's like if you want to break down Torchbearer to understand it better, you thinking about it in terms of turns is really helpful as well. So Shadowrun Anarchy is the idea that every player has a turn. So he controls the narration for a moment, explaining what's going on, and then when he's done, the next one does it, the next one does it, the next one does it. So you have all these things you can do on your turn, right? So really interesting. So to me, right now, I was talking with Bloomslinger, and it's kind of obvious that this is, just those big company adjusting to, they don't want to lose all their, a part of their players or their consumers that goes to another market. They don't want to lose these customers, so they adjust the games, they adjust their lines. Because if you want to play Shadowrun, if you want to keep playing Shadowrun, but you don't want to, you're done with the traditional game or the traditional version of it. Well, at least now you have a. They call it narrativist rule light. To me, I find this really, really not a good. I don't like that terminology at all. I mean, if you have currencies that you manipulate as points, and it becomes turn-based and all that, it's way more gamist than narrativist in my book somehow. I don't know, man. I don't like all these terms and that are getting thrown like that. But anyway, and well, rule light probably because Shadowrun is rule heavy, but I mean, it's not because it's supposedly narrative is that it becomes rule light, or I don't know. I don't like that kind of terminology, but anyway. So this phenomena, I was talking about it last week, and then I heard about Shadowrun Anarchy, and now we keep on hearing about it. I think it's real. I think there is a real trend going on right now, and honestly, I really dig these uh, hybrid games. I dig them. I think it's really cool. I think it's an interesting phenomena in the hobby, and I like what it does. I like what it does with it because I honestly, when you go too traditional, it becomes boring fast depending on how you play. I mean, if I have nothing on my sheet, if I have nothing in the game that I can manipulate somehow as a player, because I me, I'm gamist. I like to manipulate component. I like to manipulate mechanics. I like currencies that I can utilize to change things. For my character, for the story. I like that. So I need some of that. If the game doesn't have that, it's gonna fall short somehow at one point, and it becomes really reactive with the GM, and not really with the other players anyway, because there's nothing we can do about it. So it's just in roleplay, it's just in fluff, and I like mechanic between other players as well. Anyway, so too traditional, that falls short in that sense. When it's too STGs, sometimes it's boring as well, because you don't have complex character creation, you don't have complex character development, you don't have interesting RPG element in it, because it's just about emulating something. If I think about Emily Carabas's game, for example, where the Love trilogy, for example, where the games are emulating dating nights, or emulating a breakup, or emulate stuff like that. I mean, it's almost like I was talking with GDR Ludist, a friend, a French a French vlogger this week, and he was talking to me about psychodrama, a form of therapy. And so to me, I mean, these games, that's what they do. The STGs, that's exactly what they do, especially the Love trilogy from Emily Carabas. I mean, it's just you put yourself in a situation and you emulate it, you know. So and you play for one night with a bunch of friends, and you make believe, you make believe that you're in a breakup. And so STGs that goes too far like that, not my cup of tea, neither. Now bring them together, Burning Wheel is it's his own thing. But I mean, because it's really, there's a lot of stuff going on in it. But it's a good example of an hybrid in that sense, where you have these STGs element in it, you have the different currencies that you manipulate, and all that, but you have RPG element as well. So what they do now, really interesting. So we'll see, we'll see, but it's official. So I think I'm gonna go traditional RPG, STG, and modern games. I think that's how I'm gonna or hybrid. That's how I'm gonna talk about it now for the next couple of months. I don't know. Shadowrun Anarchy. Yes, I'm waiting for it to come out. I don't know if they're gonna go on Kickstarter or what. I don't know how it is exactly they will do as a big line, but I will get it. I will give it a shot. That's for sure. And if you hear about other games that does that, let me know, because I'm not super fast on news that's going on in the industry, and I am curious. I want to read these rules. I want to know what the mix of both will do in the future. I think there's going to be great innovation in the next couple of years in that sense. So I want to know, if you now for right now I know that Call of Cthulhu 7 does it. I know that 7C Second Edition does it. I know that obviously all the Luke Crane games does it, but I mean I don't. I mean the big lines. I want to talk about the one that are traditional, that making that turn. I know that Shadowrun Anarchy is gonna do it, and I want to know if you guys know about other games that will do it or that do it already. um and there's always someone that's funny. There's always someone that brings an old game from back in the days and say that it does it, but they don't. I mean, it's not because you have like a small little idea that nobody never used it that it does, right? It That's something else I want to talk about. Like, it is a new thing. It is something that is fresh. It is not something that was done in the past. I mean, Runeslinger mentioned in our conversation that degrees of success, but degrees of success is not currency that you manipulate to control narration, right? So it is not. These are new ideas that comes after the year 2000. I mean, unless you can really prove it, but I don't know. I don't. Maybe I'm wrong here. Please let me know. But most people, they either they don't understand the kind of rules I'm talking about because they never played STGs. So they think that some of the stuff that they played in the past is what it is. But it is what I'm talking about is procedures, turn taking, like almost GM-less situation where the player take over narration and story by the use of currencies to actively control narration and outcomes of stuff. So get at me. Let me know. Let me know if you hear about games that does it. Let me know if if you know uh, stuff coming out in the future. We will go in that direction, or if you're really sure that a game from the 80s is doing it, let me know as well. All right, talk to you soon.